Welcome to Part 2, Napkins and Condiments of the American Formal Table Setting 101. Now last time we met, I left the napkin in a traditional fold, which happens to be a square folded in half, and if you recall, the napkin always opens facing the plate. Well, the napkin is an area you can get very creative with. There's all kinds of folds and things you can do out there. Today, I'd like to share with you a couple of simple folds that you might like to use at your next dinner party. Our first fold is called the Havana. I'm going to start with a square napkin, and I'm going to make it into a smaller square. So our folded edge is in this corner, and our four loose corners are on this end. I'm going to start with our first layer. I'm going to bring it up approximately 1 inch. Our second layer, our third layer, and our fourth layer. So it looks about like this. Then I'm going to flip it over and bring it in the sides. And our goal is to try and get these two approximately the same size. When I get done, it reminds me of a fancy handkerchief that a gentleman would put in his fine suit pocket. Now this napkin can be placed either next to the fork or on the plate. I've made another one without the lace. I thought it might be easier for you to see the lines. This was our first fold, second, third, and fourth. And this is how it looks on the back. Now our second fold that we're going to make is called the standing fan. So I start with a square napkin and I fold it in half. So starting at the bottom, I want to start making an accordion fold. So that fold is approximately 1 inch. If you remember when we were children, we used to take paper and we used to fold the paper in an accordion fashion and make ourselves a fan so that we could cool ourselves down. And we do this up until about 4 inches from the top, which is approximately where I'm at right now. This is 4 inches. So take this fold, and you can finger press it by doing that. Turn it over, and we're going to fold it in half. I'm going to fold that in half. Now this is our folded corner right here. And this side is our loose corner. This is our right corner. We're going to take that right corner and we're going to fold it in half like a triangle. And I'm going to tuck it underneath this top layer that is an accordion. So it gives us kind of a sailboat shape. Now this is going to become your stand. This is what's holding your napkin up. So when I put this upright, and I let it fall open, voila, we end up with a standing fan. Now if you want to fine tune it a little bit, you can do some finger pleating. Also, if you iron it and use some starch, that also will help it stand up. Now this can be placed either above the plate or in the center of the plate. Now I have one more napkin that I'd like to share with you. And this is a very special napkin that my sister made me. I also have this made in Christmas print that I've used at Christmas time. When you open it up, it is a half circle. Now, I have one caution for you. The more formal the table setting, the less color that you want. You do not want your color to come from your linens. You want your color to come from your food and your wine. Let's talk about condiments. A condiment is the seasoning or edible substance that one might use to enhance the taste of food. Two of the most common seasoning I'm aware of is salt and pepper. If someone was to ask for salt, expect to get pepper in addition. I like to tell my guests they are a marriage. They go everywhere together. So please do not separate the salt and the pepper. An example of an edible substance might be salad dressing. What I ask of you, please do not set the container on the table as you purchased it from the supermarket. You'll need to get yourself a smaller bowl, perhaps something that coordinates with your dishes, a utensil. Pour the salad dressing into the bowl and then just place the bowl on the table and remove the container. Butter. It is perfectly acceptable for you to use a butter dish, but be sure and provide a clean knife with it. That way the guests can take off the butter that they choose, and then they'll use their own personal knife to butter their bread. Now, to do something fun, and since this is formal table setting, you could use a butter pat. A butter pat is a 3-inch dish that is often mistaken as a doll dish. However, butter pats were so popular that in the 19th century, manufacturers actually made butter pats to coordinate with their dinnerware. So if you purchased a set of dinnerware, you got butter pats. Now that would be placed right here, and today you can still buy pats of butter. Or if you want to do something fun, you might want to purchase a candy mold and make your own pats of butter. You just soften your margarine or butter. You could add flavoring to it as well. Fill your molds, put it in the freezer, and just before your guests are about to arrive, you can place those frozen pats in your butter pat dish. Now, centerpieces. Centerpieces are used to decorate a table. Now, there's only one rule that I know of about a centerpiece, and it is to be no higher than 2 inches below a person's eye. So what I don't want to do is I don't want to arrive at a table with a centerpiece that's really high, and I have to look to my right or look to my left to have a conversation with that person across from me. Because the purpose of the meal is not only for nutrition, but it's also to have conversation or fellowship with people at the table. Well, it looks like we're ready for our guests. So I don't want my guests to have to feel as if they need to ask where to sit. So I have made them a nameplate so they know automatically where I'd like them to sit. So if you like this video, please give us a thumbs up and be sure and check back later on our website when we'll have part 3 and the guests will arrive, and we'll be focusing on table etiquettes.